Have you ever held an old coin in your hand? It's more than just money. It's a tiny piece of history, a metal disc that has passed through countless hands, witnessed empires rise and fall, and traveled across oceans. In Spain, this story is especially powerful. The land we now call Spain has been a crossroads for thousands of years, a place where different cultures met, traded, and sometimes fought. And through it all, one metal tells this story better than any other: silver. These small, shiny objects are like little time capsules, whispering tales of ancient traders, Roman legions, Moorish scholars, and seafaring adventurers. They show us who was in charge, what gods they worshipped, and what they valued most. This isn't just a story about money, it's a story about people, power, and the making of a nation. The journey of Spanish silver coinage is a grand epic, stretching back over 2.5 millennia. It begins long before Spain was a single country, in a time of tribal chieftains and daring Phoenician sailors. These first coins weren't Spanish at all, but they planted an idea that would grow into something extraordinary. Each new ruler, each new empire that swept across the Iberian Peninsula left its mark in silver. The Romans stamped their emperors' faces onto coins mined from Spanish earth. The Visigoths etched simple crosses, a symbol of their new faith. The emirs of Al-Andalus covered their coins in beautiful Arabic script, praising Allah. And finally, the Christian kings forged a currency that would unite their lands and eventually dominate the world. This story is etched into the very landscape of Spain. The country is blessed with rich silver mines, a source of wealth and power that drew outsiders to its shores for centuries. From the mines of Rio Tinto, exploited since antiquity, to the incredible silver mountains of the New World that would later fuel Spain's golden age, silver has been the lifeblood of its economy. Following the trail of these coins allows us to walk in the footsteps of history. We can imagine a Roman soldier buying wine with a denarius, a merchant in Cordoba weighing a silver dirham, or a pirate counting his hoard of pieces of eight. These coins were not just for buying bread, they were symbols of identity, tools of propaganda, and the engine of global trade. As we journey from the earliest crudely hammered pieces of silver to the precisely milled coins of the modern era, we'll see Spain itself take shape. We will witness the fragmentation of the Roman world, the glittering heights of Islamic civilization in Europe, the long, slow struggle of the Reconquista, and the explosive dawn of a global empire. The coins are our guides, each one a signpost marking a new chapter. They show us the transition from Latin to Arabic and then to Spanish, the changing faces of kings and queens, and the shifting symbols of power. So let's begin this incredible journey, holding these silver keys to the past and unlocking the epic story of Spain. Our story begins not with a king or an empire, but with a ship. Imagine a sleek vessel with a horse's head carved on its prow, sailing from the far eastern Mediterranean. These were the ships of the Phoenicians, master traders from what is now Lebanon. Around 3,000 years ago, they came to the Iberian Peninsula, drawn by its incredible mineral wealth, especially its silver. At first, they didn't use coins. They traded goods for lumps of silver, weighed carefully on scales. But in other lands, like Greece and Lydia, a revolutionary idea was taking hold, pressing a standard weight of silver with an official mark. This was the birth of coinage, and the Phoenicians brought this idea with them to the shores of Iberia. These early coins, found in coastal trading posts like Gadir, which is modern Cadiz, were not Spanish, but they were the spark. They were often Greek drachmas, or coins from Phoenician colonies like Carthage. The local Iberian tribes, a collection of fierce and distinct peoples, saw these useful little discs. They understood their value. A coin was easier to carry than a bag of silver chunks, and its stamp guaranteed its weight and purity. Soon, the Iberians began to make their own versions. These weren't just copies, they were unique creations, reflecting their own culture. They were often rough, irregular in shape, but they were a start. They were the first silver coins minted on Iberian soil. What did these first coins look like? Many featured simple but powerful designs. You might see a male head, perhaps a hero or a local god with wild, flowing hair. On the other side, a common image was a horseman, sometimes holding a spear or a palm frond. This wasn't just decoration. The horse was a vital part of Iberian life and warfare, a symbol of status and power. The script on these coins was also unique, written in the Iberian alphabet, a writing system that is still not fully understood today. These coins tell us that the people living here had a sophisticated society, with their own art, language, and economy long before the Romans arrived. They were used for local trade, paying soldiers, and making offerings to the gods. Another important influence came from the Greeks, who had set up their own colonies on the northeastern coast, such as Emporium, which is Ampurias. They minted beautiful silver drachmas, often featuring the mythical winged horse Pegasus. These coins were of a very high quality and circulated widely, mixing with the more rustic Iberian issues. So, in the centuries before Rome's arrival, the Iberian Peninsula was a vibrant melting pot of coinage. You had Greek, Punic, which is Carthaginian, and dozens of local Iberian mints all producing silver money. It was a chaotic but dynamic system, a world of local identities expressed through these small, precious objects, all hinting at the great wealth that lay hidden in the Spanish hills. Then came Rome. The Roman Republic's struggle with Carthage in the Punic Wars brought its legions to the Iberian Peninsula, which they called Hispania. They came to fight, but they stayed for the silver. The Romans were masters of organization and standardization, and this extended to their money. They swept away the confusing mix of local coins and introduced their own powerful currency, the silver denarius. This wasn't just a change in money, it was a declaration of control. From now on, Roman power was the only power that mattered, and the denarius was its symbol, a coin that was the same in Hispania as it was in Britain or Syria. The Romans quickly took over the rich Spanish silver mines, such as those at Carthago Nova, which is Cartagena, and Castulo. They organized them on an industrial scale, using vast numbers of slaves and sophisticated engineering to extract enormous quantities of silver. This silver was then turned into millions upon millions of denarii, many of which were minted right there in Hispania. These coins were used to pay the legions stationed there, to fund public works like roads and aqueducts, and to grease the wheels of a vast provincial economy. The denarius was a handsome, well-made coin of a consistent weight and purity, which made it trusted everywhere. It became the backbone of the entire Roman economy for centuries. What did these Roman coins look like? They were powerful tools of propaganda. The front, or obverse, almost always featured a portrait of the current emperor or a member of his family. This was a way of putting the ruler's face in everyone's pocket, a constant reminder of who was in charge. The back, or reverse, was used to broadcast messages about the emperor's achievements. You might see a depiction of a military victory, a new building project, or a goddess representing Roman virtues like peace, which is pax, or justice, which is equitas. Coins minted in Hispania sometimes had special marks or symbols, like a rabbit, which was a famous symbol for the peninsula. Holding one feels like holding a tiny Roman monument. For nearly 500 years, the denarius and its successors were the standard silver coins of Hispania. From the time of the Republic through the reigns of great emperors like Augustus, Trajan, who was himself born in Hispania, and Hadrian. These coins tell the story of a land transformed. They show its complete integration into the Roman world. The old Iberian horsemen and mysterious scripts vanished, replaced by Latin letters and the stern profiles of Roman emperors. The silver of Spain was now being used to project the power of Rome across the known world. It was the first time the peninsula had a single, official, unified silver currency. As the Western Roman Empire began to crumble in the 5th century AD, new peoples swept across Europe. Into Hispania came the Visigoths, a Germanic tribe who had served as allies of Rome before establishing their own kingdom. The collapse of Roman authority created chaos, and this was reflected in the coinage. The complex, well-supplied system of Roman mints disappeared. For a time, people continued to use old Roman coins or very crude copies of them. Silver became much scarcer, and the quality of coins plummeted. The first Visigothic kings didn't even put their own names on their coins. Instead, they minted imitations of Roman and Byzantine coins, a sign that they still saw the emperor in Constantinople as the ultimate authority. It wasn't until the late 6th century, under King Leovigild, that the Visigoths began to mint truly independent coins. This was a hugely significant step. Leovigild established his capital at Toledo and started issuing gold and some silver coins bearing his own name and portrait. These coins were a bold statement. The Visigothic kingdom was now its own master. The portraits were very stylized, not the realistic depictions of the Roman era. The kings were shown facing forward, looking stiff and formal, often with a cross nearby. The Latin legends were often blundered and misspelled, a sign of the decline in classical learning. But the message was clear: Rex, king. The main silver coin of the Visigothic period was the siliqua, a small, thin coin that was a descendant of a late Roman denomination. However, silver was not as common as gold in their monetary system. The Visigoths primarily minted gold premises. Their silver coins are much rarer today, suggesting they were produced in smaller quantities. The designs were simple and deeply religious. The cross, a symbol of their Catholic faith after converting from Arianism, became a central feature. You'll often see a cross on steps or a simple cross potent, sometimes with the name of the mint city like Toledo, which is Toledo, or Emerita, which is Merida, on the reverse. These coins give us a fascinating glimpse into a dark and transitional age. They show a world that had lost the technical skill and organizational might of Rome, but was forging a new identity, one based on Germanic kingship and Christian faith. The silver coins of the Visigoths are the ghost of Roman coinage, retaining its shape and basic idea but filled with a new, very different spirit. They are cruder, rarer, and simpler, but they are the first coins to carry the names of kings who ruled only in Spain. They represent a bridge between the ancient world of Rome and the medieval world that was about to be born. In the year 711, a new force swept into the Iberian Peninsula from North Africa, bringing with it a new language, a new religion, and a completely new style of coinage. The Visigothic kingdom crumbled, and most of the peninsula came under the rule of the Umayyad Caliphate, becoming known as Al-Andalus. The conquerors brought with them the Islamic monetary system, based on the gold dinar and the silver dirham. The dirham in particular was a coin of stunning beauty and purity, and it completely transformed the look and feel of money in Spain. It was honestly a radical departure from the portrait and cross designs of the Visigoths. The Islamic faith forbids the depiction of human or animal figures, so the silver dirham had no pictures. Instead, its surfaces were covered in elegant flowing Arabic script, known as Kufic. These inscriptions were not just decorative, they were powerful religious and political statements. The central field on both sides typically contained verses from the Quran, such as the Shahada, the Declaration of Faith. There is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. Around the edges, the inscriptions provided crucial information: the name of the ruler, the year the coin was minted, according to the Islamic calendar, and, most importantly, the city where it was made. These coins were minted with incredible care and precision. The silver dirhams of Al-Andalus, especially those from the capital city of Cordoba, were famous throughout the Islamic world and beyond for their high silver content and consistent weight. They were a symbol of the wealth, sophistication, and power of the emirate, and later, Caliphate of Cordoba. While much of Europe was stuck in the so-called Dark Ages with crude, debased coinage, Al-Andalus was producing money of world-class quality. These dirhams were traded far and wide and have been found in Viking hordes in Scandinavia and Russia, a testament to their value and the extensive trade networks of the time. The main mint was Al-Andalus, which was a mobile mint at first before settling in Cordoba. Holding one of these dirhams is like holding a piece of a golden age. They speak of a society that valued learning, art, and science. The precision of the script and the purity of the metal reflect a culture at the height of its confidence. For nearly 800 years, Islamic rule persisted in parts of Spain, and the dirham and its successors remained the dominant silver currency in the south. These coins are not just currency, they are miniature works of art and historical documents telling a story of a different Spain, one of scientific marvels, grand mosques, and flourishing trade. While the south of the peninsula flourished as Al-Andalus, small Christian kingdoms clung to existence in the mountainous north. This was the beginning of the Reconquista, the centuries-long effort by these kingdoms to retake the land from Muslim rule. Their early coinage was a reflection of their precarious situation. Small, crude, and often made of a mixture of silver and base metals called bilon. The most common coin was the dinero, a name derived from the old Roman denarius. These coins were tiny and thin, often featuring a simple cross on one side and the profile of the king on the other, though the portraits were very basic and not at all realistic. As the Christian kingdoms of Castile, Leon, Aragon, and Portugal grew stronger and pushed south, their coinage became more sophisticated. They captured wealthy cities like Toledo and Seville, and with them, the expertise of their mints. For a time, some Christian kings even issued coins with Arabic inscriptions alongside Latin ones, a practical measure to ensure the coins would be accepted by their new Muslim and Jewish subjects. A famous example is the Maravedi, which started as a gold coin imitating the Almoravid dinar, but later became a silver and then a bilon coin. These hybrid coins show the complex cultural interactions of medieval Spain. The great turning point for Spanish silver coinage came in the mid-14th century under King Pedro I of Castile. He introduced a new, large, high-quality silver coin called the real. This was a deliberate effort to create a stable and reliable currency to compete with the French and English coins of the time. The name real means royal, emphasizing that this was the king's money, backed by his authority. Early reales featured the king's initial within a decorative border on one side and the coat of arms of Castile and Leon, a castle and a lion, on the other. This coin would become the foundation of Spain's currency for the next 500 years. With the marriage of Ferdinand of Aragon and Isabella of Castile in 1469, Spain was finally united under one crown. The Catholic monarchs embarked on a major currency reform in 1497, establishing the silver real as the standard unit across all their kingdoms. They ordered the minting of reals and their multiples, like 2, 4, and 8 reals, with a standardized design. One side showed their crowned initials, Y for Isabel and F for Fernando, with a bundle of arrows and a yoke. The other side featured the combined coat of arms of Castile, Leon, Aragon, and Sicily. This was the coin that Christopher Columbus would have carried, a coin that symbolized a newly unified and ambitious Spain, poised on the brink of a new age of discovery. The year 1492 changed everything. Columbus's voyage opened up the New World, and Spanish conquistadors soon discovered something that would change the world economy forever. Mountains of silver, especially at Potosi in modern-day Bolivia and Zacatecas in Mexico. To process this immense wealth, the Spanish established mints in Mexico City, Lima, and Potosi. They began striking a large silver coin with a value of 8 reales. This was the Real de a Ocho, better known to the English-speaking world as the Piece of 8. It was a heavy, substantial coin containing about an ounce of pure silver, and it was destined to become the world's first truly global currency. For over 300 years, the Piece of 8 was the king of coins. Its reliability and high silver content made it trusted everywhere. It was the standard coin for international trade, accepted in China to trade for silk and porcelain, used to pay for spices in the East Indies, and circulated widely throughout Britain's American colonies. In fact, the Piece of 8 was legal tender in the United States until 1857. The American dollar was based directly on it. and the famous dollar sign is believed to derive from the scroll and pillars design on the coin, or possibly from an abbreviation for pesos. It was the money of merchants, pirates, and empires. The most famous design of the piece of 8 was introduced in 1732. These were the milled dollars or pillar dollars. One side featured the coat of arms of Spain. The other side was magnificent. It showed 2 globes, representing the Old and New Worlds, set between the Pillars of Hercules, the rocks on either side of the Strait of Gibraltar. A banner wrapped around the pillars read, Plus Ultra, meaning more beyond, a proud declaration of Spain's global empire, reversing the old motto, Non plus ultra, or nothing more beyond. This powerful imagery, combined with the coin's milled protective edge to prevent clipping, made it the gold standard of silver money. The impact of this coin was staggering. It financed Spain's wars in Europe, built its palaces and cathedrals, and fueled a price revolution that affected the entire continent. Billions of these coins were minted and shipped back to Spain in great treasure fleets, which were often preyed upon by pirates and privateers like Sir Francis Drake, creating the legends of sunken treasure we know today. To make change, people would literally cut the coin into 8 wedge-shaped bits. This is why $1/4 is still sometimes called 2 bits. The piece of 8 wasn't just a Spanish coin. It was the world's coin, a piece of silver that connected continents and created the first global economy. El siglo XIX fue una época turbulenta para España. El país fue sacudido por la invasión napoleónica, la pérdida de la mayoría de sus colonias americanas y una serie de guerras civiles y levantamientos políticos. Esta inestabilidad se reflejó en su moneda. El antiguo sistema del real continuó, pero se estaba volviendo confuso y anticuado. Los retratos en las monedas cambiaban rápidamente con la sucesión de monarcas, desde Fernando VII hasta la reina niña Isabel II, e incluso el rey títere francés José Bonaparte, a quien se le apodó burlonamente Pepe Botella, y cuyas monedas se llamaban Josefinas. La pérdida de las minas de plata del Nuevo Mundo también significó el fin del dominio de España en la producción de plata. En 1868, una revolución derrocó a la reina Isabel II y el nuevo gobierno provisional decidió modernizar la moneda del país. Buscaron alinear a España con la nueva Unión Monetaria Latina, un sistema basado en el franco francés. Para hacer esto, retiraron el antiguo real e introdujeron una nueva moneda de plata, la peseta. El nombre peseta venía de la palabra catalana, peceta, que significa pequeña pieza, y se había usado informalmente para una moneda de 2 reales durante algún tiempo. La nueva moneda era decimal. Una peseta se dividía en 100 céntimos. La primera moneda de plata de peseta, acuñada en 1869, se convirtió en un clásico instantáneo. Esta primera moneda de 5 pesetas, a menudo llamada duro, un apodo heredado de la antigua moneda de 8 reales, es una de las más hermosas de España. En lugar del retrato de un monarca, presentaba una poderosa figura alegórica. En el anverso estaba Hispania, una personificación femenina de España, mostrada reclinada a lo largo de los Pirineos con el estrecho de Gibraltar a sus pies. Era un símbolo de la nación misma, en lugar de un solo gobernante. El reverso mostraba el escudo de armas español. Este diseño fue una declaración de orgullo nacional y una ruptura con el pasado monárquico. Estas grandes monedas de plata se acuñaron durante varios años y son muy valoradas por los coleccionistas de hoy por su belleza y significado histórico. A medida que avanzaba el siglo y se restauraba la monarquía, los retratos de los reyes regresaron a la peseta de plata. Puedes seguir la historia política de finales del siglo XIX y principios del XX en España a través de sus monedas de 5 pesetas. El apuesto perfil del rey Amadeo I, el rostro juvenil de Alfonso XII y la famosa cabeza de bebé, y luego el retrato adulto de su hijo, Alfonso XIII. Estas monedas eran la plata de uso diario del pueblo español, utilizadas para compras importantes y guardadas como reserva de valor. Eran las descendientes directas de la moneda de A8, continuando la larga y orgullosa tradición de España de acuñar monedas de plata grandes e impresionantes en la era industrial moderna.